Red, what does it mean to see Al enter the Blues Hall of Fame and receive his blue jacket?
Well, obviously it's no surprise to anyone, and Al was the first captain of the Blues, and he was probably the most mature person as a player, and obviously was a player who knew how to win. I don't know how many Stanley Cups he won before he got to the Blues, but it was more than, I believe it was more than 3, and it was with more than 3 teams. So he was a well-respected journeyman, leader, and defenseman. And once Scotty Bowman started coaching, you could just see how that defensive pride overtook our team. You know, we all wanted to score goals and show what we could do in the expansion, but with Glenn Hall in goal in Ann Arbor on defense, the young guys, they learned pretty quick that the only way we're going to win is to play great defense. And Al did that, and he's so deserving to be here. It's too bad he and Claire are not here anymore, but his family came in and his kids, and we saw them. We hardly recognized them. It's been so long. But they came in from Long Island, and so they're all excited about it. We're excited about it, and that was the #1 reason I wanted to come back this year, is for Al Arbour's induction.
What was so special about his approach to the game as a player?
Well, he was serious, and he was confident. He knew who he was. You know, he knew that he wasn't Bobby Orr and so on and so forth. But he knew that if he played well, we had a good chance of winning. And that would be because he's shutting down the best players on the other team. So he knew his role, and he knew it wouldn't be easy. And one story about him was we were playing Chicago, and Bobby Hull was one of the big scorers in the league at that time, and he could shoot the puck as hard as anybody. And he was a left winger, and Al was a right defenseman. So Al faced him. He was on the ice. Scotty put him on the ice every time Hull was on the ice. And Hull came down, and Hull was fast, but it was hard to beat Al. And Hull knew it, so he didn't try and go wide or stick handle around him. He just reared back, and he let that shot go. And most guys would step out of the way, but not Al Arbour. He would get down in front of that shot and block it. And so as the story goes, between periods, I go back in the medical room, in the training room, and Al's on the table, and they've taken off his shin guard on his left leg, and they used to put cotton batting in behind there to give it a little more protection. And the cotton was all blood, and he had a big cut on his shin bone, which the puck literally went through that pad and cut his shin bone. So they stitched him up, put new cotton batting on, and so we go out in the second period, and here comes Hull down the wing again, and geez, he winds up, and I thought, geez, Al, get out of the way. And he went down again and blocked it again and never said a word to anybody. And that was, and when the young guys see that, and they say, no, this is a hockey player. This guy, he's a leader, and he cares. He's paying the price to be a great player. So that was a little bit about Al Arbour.
He's in the Hall of Fame, now in the Blues Hall of Fame. And you talk about the Stanley Cups. He took the Blues to 3 straight Stanley Cup final games, then won 4 as a coach with the Islanders. Just what was it about him, and then his coaching mindset as he just put such an incredible print on the game?
Yeah, he really did. He did it in a quiet way too. It wasn't boisterous. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't worth headlines, but it was good stuff. He knew what it should be like in the locker room for the players. He knew what the culture should be like. He knew what the leadership at the player level should be, that they should be echoing everything the coaches are preaching. And that's what he did, and he did the same thing with the Islanders. I think he learned a lot from Scotty Bowman, but he brought a lot to the game, his own personality. He had no idea he was going to be a coach in Long Island for long. I mean, they were struggling, and he didn't know if he'd keep his job. And even the general manager admitted at one point that if they didn't win the next game, he was going to have to make a coaching change. This is before Al won any Stanley Cups. And then the team won that game. It was like a miracle. And then away they went, they took off, and the rest is history. So coaches' careers can be fickle and fragile. But Al was a special guy and a special coach and a special player and a special teammate.
As you see it, how is the game different from when you guys were on the ice together?
Well, the game is faster, more skilled players. They shoot the puck harder. There's more good shooters. There's not just one Bobby Hull anymore. There's several high-scoring players on every team that can shoot the puck. But defense still has a role. If you ask any coach why they're not winning, and it'll start with, well, it's not so much they're not scoring, it's they can't keep the puck out of their own net. It's tough on the goalies, tough on a lot of these modern defensemen are puck-moving, offensive-minded defensemen. And defensively, they may not be as responsible when you get into tight games in the playoffs. So I think, and Al thought, and Scotty thought, and I think a lot of current coaches are realizing if you can't check, you're not going to win.
Well, Red, appreciate you being here, and congratulations to Al.
Good, thank you.